What is happening, y'all? Cowboy here, and today I'm going to show you what I would consider my most toxic build. This is probably the most annoying thing in the game to fight against. It's definitely becoming more popular as time goes on, but there are ways to counter it, and we'll talk about those as well. Regardless, this is Sandstorm, and Sandstorm is a missile boat. Now, if you've never fought against a missile boat before, the idea behind a build like this is you get up into the air as high as possible, and then you perpetually rain down destruction on your opponents. It is very annoying to deal with, and it's honestly just it's an incredibly potent playstyle because there's not much you can do to counter it. You can assault boost up, and if you have something that can really get up in the face of a missile boat, you might be able to take it down. But if you're like more of a grounded AC, like a tank or something that's rather heavy and you can't get the verticality you need, something like this will just wreak havoc on you constantly. So either way, let's talk about the build and jump on in. To start, we are rocking dual siege missile launchers here. Now personally, I like these a lot compared to the alternative with the split missile. The split missile has slightly more attack power, but it's very slightly. In fact, just to do the math here, 78 by 13 is 1014. So we are looking at a damage difference of 42. And in exchange for that, we have better direct hit, better guidance, better homing lock time, lower ammunition cost. On top of that, if we look at the missiles, this is going to be 6 little ones, whereas this is going to put out a bunch and they're going to hold and then they're going to go towards the target, which I really like. That little delay is very nice. Moving on from those two, we are rocking with the BML G2 P05 MLT-10s. Now you could certainly run with a different missile launcher. Personally speaking, I found these to be the most consistent. It's just 10 missiles that we're putting on out. It's very consistent in terms of being able to fire these off. They have a relatively quick lock, and they tend to do pretty well with tracking. So if you want to try something else, if you want to do verts or do super whatever, you're certainly welcome to do that. But I found these to be the wherever they went, there they are. I found this to be the best bet. And on top of that, keep in mind that we have 13, we have 13, and we have 10, and we have 10. So that is 46 missiles you are loosing out in a single volley. That's a lot of damage. Moving on from there, to the head, we have the VE-44B. Now what's nice about this is we have a 700 meter scan distance along with an 18-second scan effect duration. And this is going to be really nice because we want to maintain missile lock, and nothing is more annoying than something dipping behind cover and then all of a sudden we lose missile lock. This makes sure that missile lock stays and that we can release our missiles. Try to say release and loose at the same time. Anyway, make sure we can fire our missiles at just the right time and targets aren't breaking lock on us. Moving on from there, the Mind Alpha. This is basically the strongest AP we can get while still being within our various thresholds. It's also a pretty well-rounded piece here. We got good generator output, good supply adjustment there, solid AP and defenses, relatively nice stability. Onto the arms, we're just going pure beef with the Tion Lao. We're not worried about any of the secondary stats here because we're using missiles, so just beef it on up. For the legs, we have to use the barrels as well because these can't actually support our limit, so the barrels it is. For the booster, the Burrozel. The main way I like to play this build is to get as high into the air as fast as possible, and in that regard, I'm going all in on my attack boost thrust. Now alternatively, you could try and do something like attack boost energy consumption and try to go for something that has super low energy consumption. But personally, I don't know. I've tried both, and I just feel like the one I have on, the Burzel, I feel like this just, it gets me right where I want to be. It gets me there fast, and that's what I want. Moving on to the FCS G2 P10 SLT, 150 missile lock. We're going to be single firing for most of these matches, but if you want a multi-lock, 90 still isn't bad. And then lastly for the generator, the VP20C. This is just a really solid generator. We have a really nice energy recharge delay. The only one that would be comparable is the Yaba, which suffers in a couple other areas. We get a slightly better recharge delay and a slightly better quick boost reload time, but we're going to take a hit to our total energy output, which I didn't really want to deal with. So instead, we are working with good old faithful here, VP20C, and of course we're way up in the air, so pulse armor. It doesn't really make sense to run assault or pulse protection, and we're too tanky to really need terminal, but if you like the idea of like, oh, I got hit and I died, terminal might save you, but to be honest, if you're going to die with this, it's usually when you're on the ground getting back your fuel, so having pulse armor I think works better. Moving on from there though, taking a look at the paint, you can see on the frame we have the camo here, level 2 with medium, and then a camo set. Really went for a desert warfare type theme going on with this and a little bit of weathering on it. And then as for the arm units, they all have the same breakdown as well. But that is going to be it for Sandstorm. So here, sharing the info, there is the share ID for y'all. And let's jump in, take this thing into a match, and show you exactly what it is capable of. So I'm only going to do one 1v1 match with this, maybe two to give somebody a chance. But to be honest, this is just a really toxic build for 1v1. I don't like doing this for 1v1. Nice to meet you. I honestly feel kind of bad. Neru, if you see this, I'm sorry. I mean, hey, who knows? Maybe he has something to counter me. Maybe I'm getting ahead of myself, but this hasn't lost in a 1v1 yet. Let's see, he has missiles, and I'm not even sure what that other gun is. So he might do pretty well. He has missile launchers, some kind of variant of a missile boat. A missile boat off. And I like to get through about half of my bar, and then, as you can see, I'm going to scan, and right there, getting through just about half of it. That was enough to get me all the way up towards the top. And you don't have to wait for everything to come up. I would suggest just firing these as they come off cooldown and just constantly floating away, you know. I'm gonna hit the ground and away we go. Back up. It's actually kind of funny because he has a very similar build to mine. Oh, he actually got a hit with that. See, what's nice is that little delay, it just pauses them, so they really do a good job at getting on the target after. I'm going to put that up since my stagger bar is hitting kind of high. You can see those delayed missiles. I love the siege missiles. If there was like good siege shoulders, I would probably run those. You can run this with other styles of builds. I just find that the Tetrapod is really nice because I can just do this. I just get up here and I hover and I sit and I'm like, here comes destruction. You can see how all of them kind of circling in from above too. I know I said I tend to not like verts, and this is essentially like turning these into verts, but it works quite well. I think just the tracking on these is much better. There's your shield. There you go. I'll put up my shield. There we go. We both have shields up. And now he's dead. No, I take it back. I don't feel bad at all about running that, because he came into this also trying to missile boat. A less effective missile boat, but he was doing the same cheeky thing. So, oh, well, looks like I was going to be like, good match, but he bailed. So, alright, search, team, time, 5. Maps don't matter. Search, hopefully we can find one. Oh, let's go, these are all kind of fill grid. Xylem, search. I don't want to do one of the other, I guess we're going here. Oh, I'm just full unable to join. I'm really hoping to just get into matches fast, because the last thing I want to deal with is more editing. So the last video, obviously, the matches weren't really happening that fast, so I cut out a bunch. it worked, but like, man, it is still a huge pain in the ass, man. Like, so I don't know what it is. I've actually worked with Adobe support to try and fix this for quite some time, and I just can't get it to work properly. But so what happens is my Adobe will get like 90% way through a project and then just crash every single time. And the only way I've been able to fix it is rendering videos out in HVNC, which is just like, I mean, it's a better encoding for sure, so it works out. But that particular encoding also sometimes crashes. What is this guy doing? Shit. There we go. So yeah, but rendering them out in like standard 4K H.264, half the time that's going to crash. And I'll have to take a video and like render and render and render and render. And then finally, I'll get one video that's done, which is super annoying. So if you're ever like, why doesn't he cut out his load screens of the lobbies? That's why, because it's a huge tedious affair. Typically, I like to do everything in one go as well. So I like plan a build video out, and you know, and it's just like 20-30 minutes uncut. Talk about the build, jump into PvP, upload it. Is it low effort? Yeah, it's low effort, but I still think it ends up being pretty informative and it gets the job done. Doing it with editing, though, it turns from like a 30-minute encounter to like a 2-hour encounter between all the crashes and whatnot, which, with the amount of content I put up, if I was taking 2 hours to make a single video, shit would not get done. So this is actually a less than ideal map for missile boat. It's probably the worst matchup for a missile boat, to be honest, just because you have people can get up very high, very easily here. I'll find where their shotgun guy is. I think he's Unit 02. And one thing to keep in mind when you're running a missile boat type build is you're effectively turning the ground fight into a 2-on-3. You know, my team is completely outnumbered down there, so because of this, my job, I need to constantly rain down missiles. I need to make sure that I am staggering people, that I am taking them out of the fight, and that I'm doing everything possible so that my team isn't just getting bullied. Because if I'm not, then all of a sudden, you know, I'm throwing the match. But thankfully, I tend to be pretty aggressive with it, as you can see. Now, in general, if I can help it, I don't want to actually float up like that. It tends to be pretty slow moving. Goodbye, shotgun man. I'm not playing that game. I'd much rather assault boost up. Full volley away. Boom, 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 boom. This is actually really ideal because their shotgun guy is trying to chase me down, which means he's not on the ground hitting other people, which is what he should be doing. Finish off Unit 3. He should be dead here. Yes, okay. There we go. Full volley on 02. He is probably close to dead. One more volley should finish him off. Oh! See, now this actually works out though, because I was getting really low on my ammo there. I was running out, so that was basically the perfect time for me to go down. start harassing the Gatling guy a little bit here. Whew. Do you think I'm making them angry enough? They really seem to be focusing me a lot. If I can get a kill on you before this timer, that would be good. Oh no! I don't think we're going to be able to win this one. This is actually looking really close. No, we're going down. Damn. Let's see how we did, though. So, not bad. 500 points. Could have done much better. Could have definitely done much better. Let's get another lobby. That's the thing. If I'm... Like, this sounds slightly... I don't know. I want to have teammates who are actually, like, keeping up with me in damage. When I'm at the top of my team and my teammates are like significantly below, it's like, well, shit, man. I'm trying out here. I'm pulling out all the stops, and you're not exactly carrying your weight. But this is definitely a build that I think works better in a coordinated team. Because the thing is, if, like, for example, I used this in the PvP showcase that was at Bandai, and I was able to call out targets and be like, you know, missile barrage is going on 0-2, missile barrage going on 0-3. And my team immediately knew that person was going to be under heavy fire. They were probably getting staggered, and we were able to easily coordinate kills. So playing this with randoms, it's still going to perform really well. And as you kind of saw, I was getting constant staggers. I was doing relatively okay damage, but the bigger thing is the staggers. And on top of that, I was becoming a major pain in the ass for the enemy team, especially at the end there. We had 2 different people that were finally like, fuck this, get this guy out of the sky. I'm tired of it. Like I said, rather toxic build. It's really annoying. We got some pistols, a lance, and a linear rifle. Okay. Let's see. What do I got on my team? What are we working with here? Edgelord, Siege Man with Coral Rifle, and me. It's going to be a lot of missiles. We effectively have 2 missile boats. I'm gonna have to be very careful about... Oh, no you don't. No you don't. Oh god, he's on top of me. It's a little ironic, especially because just in my last video I was talking about how if you're up against some... I think my exact words are, oh, some assholes in the sky, you can get on top of them with the lance. And we are seeing exactly that happen right here. Oh man, they are going hard on me. Oh, no. Get up and go. Get up and go. Oh, man. They are not putting up the shenanigans. But this is what you have to do. If you want to counter a missile boat, get on top of it. Lance does a great job at it. And just don't even let me breathe. That's the best way to play against this. Because if you let a missile boat just sit up top and kind of just rain havoc, well, they're just gonna, that's exactly what they're gonna do. They're going to just rain havoc constantly. So now we're taking a more grounded approach. I'm gonna sit here, I'm gonna sit right with 0-2. And whoever he fights, that's what I'm gonna focus on. man. Ooh. Oh, did not mean to kick. Okay, not sure what exactly happened there, but I'll take the kill. Alright, we're looking good though. Good job using cover. Right now, we're starting to we're getting the team mojo here. We're doing a good job of kind of scooting around. A little up close and personal with the missile boat. Big kicks. Ten seconds. All I'm gonna do right here is just try to survive. Go, another one. So over 500 again. That time we managed to get the win. Definitely a bit more coordinated with that team than the previous one. Before we wrap up, just in case you were wondering about, you know, well, how does this work in PvE? It does fine. We'll just fight Michigan. Just to show what it does. Obviously, you can do this in missions as well. The multi-lock tends to be pretty oppressive. But yeah, AI is not going to do that well against missile boats, in my experience. Tend to have the dodging capacity that a player would have. So all you really need to do is just maintain distance. I've actually used this against a couple bosses and it works there as well. You have to. Just assault boost. Keep in mind our assault boost speed is probably going to outclass most other players. About to get a message from the AI that's just like, toxic, fuck you. It's like the Stars of Ruin spam of Armored Core. Can't be beat. Either way, that is going to wrap things up with this one. And the next build, we're going to be pulling out something that's a little bit of a throwback with a reverse joint sniper, which is a very specific playstyle. Tends to work fairly well against the stuff that is currently very meta in the game, stuff like the pistols, the shotguns, the stun needles. But we were going to be jumping into that in the next part, so stay tuned. I'll catch y'all with another build guide tomorrow.